How? Who cares about the intro? How? This game was made in 1998. How? Honestly, who cares about the review part too? How is it possible that this game hasn't received any kind of remake yet? This is honestly infuriating. You see this game? If you would have told me that this game is a HD 2D remake of Xenogears, I would believe you. I kid you not. This game is the perfect example of a game that is made for HD 2D. How on earth is it possible that this game hasn't received this treatment yet? I'm about to break this microphone and throw it at someone. Where are the Square Enix headquarters? I will ask the CEO himself. What is wrong with him? Now, you might be wondering, Sparks, was it really that good? Ladies and gentlemen, this game shook me to my core. When I was about to start playing this game, I had certain expectations for how the experience would go. It's an old JRPG. A lot of quality of life features will be missing, a lot of things will be unnecessarily frustrating, and the story and everything will be good, but considering how limited things were back then, it's gonna be good, but nothing insane. You know this meme where a character stands at the beach and just says, man, this is all I can say regarding this game. What a journey. What an experience. They've been pushing systems ever since 1998, man. It's absolute insanity what kind of stuff they pulled off on that system. But you probably want to hear a bit more, so let's actually start the video with an intro. Let's go.
Then we use it to make this green liquid.
Your journey will play out on 4 continents that you'll traverse through. To a certain degree, it reminds me a lot of Xenoblade Cross, but I'll come to that a bit later. Something that is so charming and so smartly done is that, in comparison to Final Fantasy VII, where you're traversing with 3D characters in a 2D environment, it's the exact opposite in Xenogears. You're traveling with 2D sprites in a 2D environment that I would also say look rather high detail for that era, and this by itself makes this game already quite ambitious for a PlayStation 1. You know, I was always wondering, considering that it's a Xeno game, how will they do those hype moments that usually happens in the newer Xenoblade games, just in cutscenes? Will we have them at all? And boy, I was not expecting to see old school anime cutscenes. So every time an anime section comes in, you know it's about to be serious. But it's not just those types of cutscenes, but they also created, for even cooler moments, CG generated movies. And it's so smart, because back then, yeah, this would have been the best thing you can do. And that's what they did. Though, I also gotta give them credit for some in-game cutscenes, like, I don't know how they pulled off some of those parts. Not only that, but this game straight up switches genre mid-playthrough, multiple times. Like, this is so unique, man. I won't spoil anything, but it keeps the game so fresh at all times. I think it's important to mention that it's still a PlayStation 1 game. Some parts are quite frustrating. I think the absolute worst part about this game is just the random encounters. Sometimes it drove me absolutely insane. You walk 5 steps ahead and you get thrown in front of an enemy that it hits you just as hard as a mini-boss for no reason whatsoever. Some enemies do no damage, some instantly kill you. It really is a bit all over the place. And a lot of enemies need a different approach to them. I'll just give you a tip for one enemy that you will face. You need to heal them to actually damage them. That's the stuff they pull off. But since I'm speaking about enemies already, the enemy variety is... I kid you not, you can have 10 battles in each area and get a different enemy each time. That's how it feels like playing this game. I'm pretty sure I even have missed some enemies here and there, but all of them also have unique moves and abilities and do crazy stuff to you. It's honestly quite fascinating. It also has a very nice variety of bosses and I guess just settings in general. Of course, once again, there are some that definitely frustrated me quite a bit, but overall, the designs for bosses will become wilder and wilder the further you progress through the story. But let's talk about something that I find also quite unique, and that's the combat. You see, it's turn-based combat. I mean, it makes perfect sense for a game from that era, but instead of having Pokemon-like abilities, which you, by the way, also have, may that be through Ether or Chi-based attacks, you also have special options for attacks that you unlock throughout the game. But the actual attacks is working like that. You have 3 buttons, light, medium and heavy attacks, each having a different accuracy and cost. Cost of what? Attack points. You start with 3 and will gather more as you progress through the story. Light costing 1, medium 2, heavy 3. With more points, you can start doing combos. Imagine having 5 points, then you could do triangle, triangle, cross, or square, cross. And after a while, you will learn death blows, powerful finishers that will activate should you have learned a powerful combo and then made a successful input of that combo. And those become more and more cinematic and more powerful the more points you should have, and with that, longer combos that you can perform. And things will become more hype should you receive your very own gear. It works in a similar way like the regular combat, but you have to actually level up your combo level here. Doing a light attack first and leveling up to combo level 1, then with the medium into 2 and heavy into 3. All becoming unlocked as you progress. At any level you can choose the same level attack, like a light attack at combo level 1, and then do a filthy combo to stomp your enemies into the ground. And the combat evolves bit by bit the further you progress. It really is good, man. I mean, for those times, it's pretty great. The best part? There are no tutorials. I guess some things never change, but other than that, it's rather standard JRPG stuff. Some are more physically active and stronger, some more ether-based, some are healers, some are trash in some situations. I think overall the game aged rather well. You can absolutely still play the original nowadays. With the right mindset, you will absolutely have a blast. You know what else I loved? I loved the characters. Boy, I loved the characters. It pains my heart in so many ways that I will never see them again. It's so unfortunate. The game gives the main party quite some time to become attached to you. There's a handful that kind of fell through, in my opinion, but most of the characters are great, man. Don't get me started on one of the main villains. His entrance alone, it will be forever engraved into my brain. Doth thou desire the power? Man, I feel like standing up right now, man. Absolute cinema. Incredible stuff. Like, the villains are mysterious. Who's the real enemy? Is he even my enemy? Something feels off here. Man, I'm craving this feeling again. That was so good. I don't even want to say anymore. Please play this game. Find a way to play it. You have to experience it once in your lifetime, please. I still left out so much I could technically say in this video, because it all comes down to what Xenogears has told and hasn't told. And once again, I want you guys to experience it yourself first and foremost. Even though I'm not the most confident person, I would say that I'm also not dumb. But the story of Xenogears has challenged me mentally. I unironically have reached my limits at times. You see, Xenogears as a game feels like you would try to push Xenoblade 1, 2, 3 and believe it or not, also crosses story elements into the mix. So maybe some of you are aware that there exists a book which is called Perfect Works, which includes all the lore, world building, and everything related to Xenogears, and it is like the Bible to the Xenoverse. Xeno series, because even though I haven't played Xenosaga, a lot of concepts from there probably also get reused for Xenosaga as well, and the same applies for the Xenoblade games. Of course, I'm pretty sure Takahashi isn't trying to retell the same exact story, that one story he wanted to tell from the very start. You can't deny that the similarities are all over the place. And with Xenogears, I got this feeling that he understood that he probably won't be able to do a Xenogears 2, so he tried to stuff as much lore and information and world building about just straight up everything into this game, to the point where, man, a lot of stuff was cut and casually just mentioned at some points here and there. Some actually pretty big lore drops may have happened because of money or time constraints, but it was just really unfortunate to see. But playing Xenogears, I felt like I was playing Xenoblade 8. I kid you not. And I was mentioning how Xenogears had stuff from Xenoblade Cross in it, where I'm just wondering, where does the narrative come from that Cross isn't connected to the rest of the series? There was that one moment where I told everyone to leave the stream for a moment who hasn't played Cross, because I felt flashbanged by quite an important lore drop in this game and had to fangirl for a moment. And with all the other concepts that I learned, I feel somewhat spoiled about what may happen in later games. I'm scared, dude. I'm scared of Takahashi's mind. There are optional areas so easy to miss that contain, heck, Klaus and Radamanthus station level of lore hidden in these areas. By the way, I'm writing the script one day after finishing the game, so I haven't looked into Perfect Works yet. But I'm also slightly terrified. I heard that there are timelines and history and science sections and whatnot in that book. And folks, I'm not ready for the future Xenoblade games. Being able to run with the power of the Switch 2? Heck, I'm not ready for the definitive edition of Cross. We're past the Klaus saga, we are entering a completely new territory here. Xenogears has concepts I haven't seen in the Blade series yet. And also, I fully understand why Square said that they think the story is too mature and dark for Final Fantasy VII. I'm not gonna say why, but boy, nowadays this game would be rated M for mature. This game can become very, very grim. There were moments where I had to pause because some of the things just happening in this game, they are just horrible, man. You can't just include some of those things just like they did. Holy smokes. I'm still recovering. That final boss theme, by the way, from yesterday is on a loop for the past few hours. And that reminds me that I haven't even mentioned the music yet, but it's just like I said before. Some things never change. Man, I was crying at the end. I had to put my microphone away again. What a game. What an experience. What an absolute roller coaster of emotions. Xenogears is one of the greatest games I have ever experienced. Despite all of the cut elements and issues it had, it's just incredible. I feel like standing up again. Wow! Like, wow! Yes! I can't clap too loud, neighbors and everything, it's quite late in the day. But man, Square Enix, you have to be out of your mind for letting this game rot on the PlayStation 1. What are you doing? Are you scared to remake a game that wasn't even finished in the first place? Honestly, whatever. A simple port like the Final Fantasy VII game with quality of life improvements. Do something. I'm begging you. The entire fan base, multiple fan bases are begging you to bring this game and IP back. If not, sell it. And stop selling watches for insane prices with the Xenogears IP on it, which most people nowadays don't even know what Xenogears is, even being unable to play it for the first time in the first place. It hurts. Like, unironically, that big gaming companies just gatekeep these old games for no reason whatsoever. This is like one of those stories that you have to experience, man. It's insane. Like, the creativity and everything that went into it, it is something we haven't seen yet in the Xenoblade games. Like, not to that extent. That stuff is nuts. If you have a way or can create a way to play this game, please do. It's worth the hassle. I felt like a kid again. I'm so happy that I played and finished Xenogears. No mods or anything of that sort, just the OG game as it was on the PlayStation 1. Right, I think that should be enough. I ask you to keep the comments spoiler free. And hey, maybe share this video. Maybe if more and more people start talking about it, something will change. Maybe. Even though the chances are kinda non-existent, it feels like. My whole playthrough is saved on the VOD channel if you're interested. Though I may ask, would you even be interested in like 2 or 3 edited cutscene reaction compilation videos from the stream on this channel? I could try to make it happen, but only if people are really interested in that in the first place. Okay, thank you all very much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you for more banger videos very soon. Have a good one, folks. Goodbye.